Most videos about Salem, Oregon are about why people move here, but there is a much better question to ask, and that is, who does Salem actually work for, and who ends up being disappointed after moving here? Because I've seen people who move here and feel instantly at home, and I've seen others after 6 months, they are wondering why they chose to move to Salem. And near the middle of the video, I'm going to share the single biggest sign Salem isn't right for you, and most people don't even recognize it until it's too late. And at the end of the video, there's going to be a quick test for you to take to instantly find out if Salem's going to be the right fit. And by the end, you're going to know exactly which group that you fall into. I'm going to start off with talking about people who feel really at home here. Salem is for people that truly thrive, enjoy, and desire a much more calm, slower pace of life. It's one of the reasons why my family and I ended up choosing to live in Salem over a large city. We had moved from a city. We did not want that buzz, that constant high energy, that fast-paced lifestyle. We wanted to avoid all of that, and Salem provides that lifestyle in many ways. So it's a great fit for people who are looking to escape the big city life, or people moving here from a mid-sized small city and still want that slower pace that they're moving from, just maybe a different scenery or coming here for a job or for other reasons. Now, one of the big contributors to that slower pace of life is just the geography itself and how Salem is situated. If a map is popping up right now, you'll see we are surrounded by open space, whether that's farmland, wineries, parks. We've got the river that runs through it. We've got the Cascade Mountains on the east of us, and there's really nothing around us. And that in itself slows down the pace because you don't have people racing through the city to get to other cities. It's just this confined city that works within itself, and it's really one of the reasons why people feel like they can breathe here in Salem. Now, there's also just this culture of slower pace. People aren't rushing across the city to get to their locations or destinations. People aren't rushing through the stores to get shopping and moving on to the next place because they're worried about being stuck in traffic or congestion, or they don't have to plan or plot out their daily errands or even really plot out how they're going to get to work. Salem is actually really manageable. It's not too big, and yet it's also not too small where you feel completely isolated. People who move here and that live here long term are looking for the city that supports more of their daily lifestyle rather than following the trends or trying to be something that it's not. People also thrive here just because of the central location. We kind of have the best of all worlds here. People that want to live in and thrive in that slower paced life yet still want the entertainment. We're a quick ride up to Portland, about an hour away. We're central to two very natural, beautiful places in the state of Oregon, which are the Cascade Mountains on the east, and we've got the Oregon coast to the west, both about an hour and change away, so quick drive, easy to access. Salem has that culture of people that really want a balance in life and who want to be close to green space, natural settings. We're not trying to be Portland, we're not trying to be Eugene or even Bend. We actually live close enough to those cities to enjoy them, but don't have to live in the middle of them. And now we're going to transition to when people start feeling a bit uneasy, because this is where expectations truly matter. Now we're going to talk about the people who struggle to live here in Salem. First and foremost, I think it comes to expectations. People have this idea that Salem is just the little brother, little sister of Portland, and that couldn't be further from the truth. So if you're expecting this constant nightlife, the late restaurants, the bar staying up late, having access to a lot of clubs, just being constantly surrounded by entertainment and needing constant stimulation, then Salem is going to be a massive disappointment. We do not have a rapidly transforming downtown. We don't have a stream of restaurants constantly popping up. We don't have a vivid or lively bar scene or club scene here. And Salem can feel very slow. I think Salem downtown is charming. I like the pace there. But again, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want or need what I just mentioned before. And we have a much slower transition here in Salem. While things are developing and building, they just take a lot longer. There are some places like the indoor mall that we have here in the downtown area that is trying to be revived and going through some changes, but it's just taking a long time. We've got some mixed use projects that's going to bring in more retail and shopping and housing in the downtown area. But again, it just takes a lot longer to actually happen here in Salem. So again, if you're looking for that quick pace, that constant stimulation, there's going to be a big disappointment here if you move here. Another area of disappointment for a lot of people moving here is the shopping experience. I hear this constantly from people. This is where they're disappointed. We're not like Portland, Eugene, or Bend where we have these thriving, trendy shopping locations. It's just, again, it doesn't speak to the people that that live here. It's not something that we really want or desire. For the people that lived here long term, there's no expectations to have them or build them. We've got a couple shopping centers like the Willamette Town Center that has some of your big box shopping, and the Kaiser Station, which is technically in Kaiser, but it's about 15-20 minutes north of us. That's more of an updated outdoor shopping experience. Again, big box shopping. But we don't have a lot of that trend-setting stores popping up or any high fashion, super expensive shopping here in Salem. So you're going to be disappointed if that's what you're looking for or moving to Salem and hoping to get. Now, another group of people that don't thrive here are people that absolutely need their vitamin D from the natural sunlight, because the weather here could be quite overwhelming for people that aren't already living in the Pacific Northwest, moving from other places. The constant rain and the amount of gray skies that we have here can feel overwhelming for people who aren't used to it, or for people that just have this natural tendency for some sort of seasonal depression when the sun is not out shining. This was a big hurdle for my family and I. We came from Southern California, where it was constantly sunny. It took about a year to get over our transition period, getting used to the rain, and now I've come to appreciate and want some of the rain, because I know what it provides us in the spring and summer with just the beautiful green that we have all around us here in Salem. So the biggest regrets I hear from people are people that haven't done their research or maybe watched some of my videos and lifestyle videos on my channel, and they really get caught off guard about how slow of pace it is, and just how we don't really even value that here in Salem, as far as that constant need for entertainment, that constant need for stimulation. And for those that are looking for a mini Portland, there's going to be severe disappointment. And for those that really aren't prepared or have some sort of depression when it comes to gray skies, there's a realness to that. So if you fall into any of those categories, you're going to probably struggle here in Salem. And that's why I really do these videos, because when my family and I moved here, I picked up my kids, we completely overhauled our life and moved from another state to Salem, Oregon. There wasn't a whole lot of information about the lifestyle here. And that's why I have this channel. That's why I do these videos. As a reminder, I'm Dave Fine at eXp Realty. I love helping people relocate and move to Salem. If you're thinking about buying a home when you move here, make sure you reach out to me with the contact information popping up. Subscribe to the channel. That's where you're going to get a lot of content of the lifestyle here in Salem. Hit the like button to get this video out to more people, and comment below. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, your questions there as well. So with all of that said, the biggest sign that Salem's not going to be a right fit for you is if you're someone that absolutely needs your city to entertain you. If that is the case, I really hope you reconsider moving to Salem, because you are going to be severely disappointed. Again, I needed that when I was a bit younger. I wanted that. I was that person going to the bars, the clubs, staying out late at night, and just needing a ton of options to keep me entertained. That's not where I am. That's not where my family is. And so making the move here was the right choice. And we were thriving here because we don't need that constant stimulation. Salem really works best for people who want a city that supports your lifestyle, that you don't need the city to be the actual lifestyle. And this is where a lot of people get themselves into trouble and misjudge Salem. Often Salem gets misjudged because it continues to get compared to cities that it's never meant to be. It's not going to be Portland. It's not going to be a college town like Eugene. And it's not going to be like a destination touristy place like Bend. Salem is a lifestyle city, but not necessarily in the way that you may be thinking about it. People who stay and love it usually stop asking what Salem should be and start noticing what it already has to offer. Another misjudgment that people have here about Salem is that affordability automatically equals happiness. Now, yes, Salem is a lot more affordable than Portland, Eugene, Bend, and even Corvallis. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy here. Just because you can afford it doesn't mean it's the right move. You really need to embody and embrace what Salem has to offer and move here for what it is and not what you think it should be, can be, or will be in the future. And that was really clear to my family and I. We knew what we were getting when we were moving to Salem. We knew what we wanted, and it is fitting us to the T. It's fitting our lifestyle. It's fitting what we want. We're not coming here thinking we're going to change Salem or that people are going to come here and change it. Now, that doesn't mean that Salem here is boring. By all means, you've seen any of my other videos, there is a lot to do here. And I mean a lot. It's just that the lifestyle and pace are different. The things that we do to entertain ourselves here are more set around the natural settings, more around the parks, more around that slower pace, more community driven. We have a ton of community events here, and it actually feels like a community, a cohesive city together at all of these events, where you don't necessarily feel that in some of these larger cities that even have the larger venues. It's just a different feel here. And you'll notice that the more you live here, the more you get involved, the more you put yourself in within the community, you will see how connected we actually are here in Salem. But even with your research and maybe even watching my videos, you're still a little not sure if this is the right fit. Well, we're going to jump into a test. But even after you're doing some research, talking to people, watching my videos, there's still maybe some uneasiness of whether Salem is the right fit, and this is where the test comes in. But actually, before we get to the test, I do want to let you know that I completely resonate with what you are going through when thinking about moving to Salem. I'm not a local here. I relocated to Salem. I uplifted my family. We made a move here. We've got 2 kids, 2 young kids, and so I get a lot of the questions that you have. I get a lot of the concerns that you may have. And that's again why I do these videos, because this was not around when I made the move here. And so having more information at your fingertips can make you a much more informed person when moving to another city, especially here in Salem. And if you are buying a house, moving to Salem, I highly encourage you to reach out to me, because this is why I do these videos, to help you have a better transition, a better purchasing experience when buying here, because again, I relate to what you're going through. So let's move on to the test that we're talking about to see if this is going to be the right move for you. These are the 3 questions that you should be asking yourself, and you've got to be completely honest. Question number 1 is, do you value calm and a slower pace of life over constant need for entertainment and stimulation? And this is a big one, because there is no getting around this. This is just the way it is in Salem. It is a massive adjustment, especially if you are coming from a big city or a place that has a lot of entertainment, stimulation, and options for you in that category. The second question you should be asking yourself is if you're okay living in a city that is still continuing to evolve, or do you need a city that's completely finished and ready to go? Because Salem is still in this growth mode, even though it's slow, and it is evolving. We've got people moving here from all over the place, big cities, mid-sized cities, out of state, from in-state, and things are changing. We've got development going on, but not nearly finished. So there's going to be a lot of growing pains, a lot of construction, a lot of things that are maybe changing and not really fixed and ready to go. So that's something to be ready for and be prepared for. The third question you need to ask yourself, and this may be a little odd, is that do you want to have nature and breathing space as part of your daily life, or do you want that to be just part of your weekends that you can go to? And that maybe seem weird. You may be thinking, well, of course I love nature, and yeah, I love breathing space. But it's not as easy as you think. It actually was an adjustment for me. I came from a large city where I was thriving and feeling like I wanted that buzz of a big city. The big buildings, massive sprawl, and lots of places to go, and that energy. And I wasn't realizing how much that was affecting my life, but that's what I had wanted at one point. And when I moved here, it was completely different. There was nature, and I love nature and the breathing space, but there was a weird adjustment period for me. And a lot of people don't adjust fully. They feel like they need that constant buzz and the energy, and they just want to go visit nature on the weekend, go on a weekend getaway and drive out to nature. Well, Salem, again, we're surrounded by it. We thrive off of it. It's part of our culture here. And if you're not ready for that, that could be a big adjustment. So you really got to ask yourself if that's something that you really want. You don't need that visual sight of a metropolis, basically, a big city feel, big city vibe. If you answered yes to those questions, well, then Salem's going to be a good fit for you, and you'll probably feel right at home. If the questions made you feel a little uneasy, then it's not a bad thing. It's just something to consider. And if you need a little bit more clarity or information to answer those questions, definitely click on one of the videos that's popping up right now.